getting my stuff set up here at the NTA. As you can see, I've pretty much, there's nobody here actually. It's pretty empty. It's coming in here a couple days early, but if you're going to be stopping by the NTA convention, this is what we're going to have. We're going to have our gnomes, which we have in beaver and raccoon. We're going to have our easy set rabbit, raccoon, and coyote. We're going to have a knife special, which I've talked about, where all 3 knives for 50 bucks. We will have our crawfish oil, our salmon oil, our full selection of North American Trapper baits and lures, and also the Johnny Thorpe 3 that we have done. And if you want a hat or a t-shirt, we're giving great deals on those as well. We got our baits and lures. This is our Johnny Thorpe collection, the 3 that we have done, and then we have our t-shirts. As you can see, the room is getting ready for the day. I'm going to walk you around. We're going to go out here first. Before you come in, once you park, you actually have to walk through a whole tailgater section. And the tailgater section, as you can see, is vast. There's a bunch of different tailgaters from that end of the fairgrounds all the way over to the other end of the fairgrounds. And the tailgating section is always a great place, because in the tailgater sections where you find the better deals sometimes. And quite honestly, even when they're setting up, there's a lot of people that get here the day before the show even starts to try and find that that special thing that they didn't know they were going to run into. It's almost like yard sales. People that go to the odd yard sales do that. But down here at this end is F&T. They got a big display. You can see all of their stuff. Sean's over there doing business on the phone, and they got a really nice setup. But they're down in this end. You got No BS and everybody over there. Top Lot Stretchers in the house. This is the South Dakota Association booth. They have a really nice setup. They got a whole wall of fur hanging, all of their stuff. These are really nice items that somebody does out here in South Dakota. That's actually one of the coolest displays I've ever seen for them, and I think that's willow that they're using for that. But this is their jackalope spread. They have these out in South Dakota. We don't have them back in the East, but that's pretty cool there. Minnesota Trapline, as I said. Down the end, we got the Trapper's Post. That's my booth again. Duke Traps is over here. We've got over there, you can see Fur Fish Game, but we got the Duke Traps display right here. TA and Bill and everybody's here to show everybody how those traps work. And we've got Fur Fish Game on the other side, Joe Goodman, Dunlaps, and right here is the whole selection of Duke traps. So anybody that wants some of them are gonna be able to get those. This is the whole NTA spread right here. The NTA shirts, buy your membership, support the organization. Down here we got Robert. Robert's over here manning the booth. Keith left him alone this morning.
Keith's out running around.
But Keith Winkler from Sterling, that's his booth. Then we have the Alabama Trappers. We got the National Trappers Foundation, which actually used to be the FBU. The Fur Bearers Unlimited is now the National Trappers Foundation. And this is their silent auction. Everybody comes in, and there's a lot of really good prizes every year on these booths. Here's a really cool Mountain Man print. After I get done filming, that'll be something I come over and look at and maybe add to the collection in the house. But Keisha looks like she's hard at work today. How's everything going? You had a good show so far?
Very good.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But Keisha is a big part of what goes on, raising funds for the organization, and she's done a great job on that. But you know what? We'll head over to the other side, and the other side is actually way bigger. There's a lot more people set up over here, but I'm on that side where they walk in. But once this second room opens here, you'll see that it opens right up, and I'll walk up on the steps to give you an overview of the whole facility. And you can see the booths. These are about everybody that you see on Facebook and all of the different magazines and advertising and everything. But you can see it's just trapping products and trappers paradise. This year, obviously, we're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Next year is Harrisonburg, Virginia. We will be down there, but this is a national, and you're able to come and see all the different things. Here we have a gentleman with some baits and lures. I don't see a sign, but Apple Road, Cleat. We've got his stuff here. How are you doing today?
Good, fine.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear.
More people by here.
Well, yeah. Well, it's early. It just opened.
Yeah, last day.
Yeah, they'll be
Wait to bring the stinky stuff.
bring your sticky stuff home at the last day. And then Larry Finch. Here's some fiber tough pack baskets. So if you need something durable, they're gonna work for you. Move down through.
Yeah.
We've got AJ Skinners over there. You can see the skinning machines. I'm sure you find that online if you need something like that. Jack Hill's Lone Wolf. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Winter Wildlife Collection over here. This is Barnes Hide and Furs display. You can see they've got a lot of stuff. This looks like, yep, I was going to say Comstock, and there's the thing, and you can see these heavy-duty cages that he puts together. There's just so much to see. I'm not going to be able to probably get to every booth, but as you can see, if you're a trapper, you're going to be able to have a little fun if you go to the NTA convention, or any convention for that matter. This is actually where the demos are done. I did one on Thursday. You can see this is the demo area.
That's great. And it's probably not for everybody, but it's the passion
That
gets
is
to the diamond.
Tom Miranda doing a
Passion that
talk
takes
this
you
morning.
to that professionalism, to that
So,
next goal. So
He's got a pretty
for me,
decent crowd.
trapping was
Big
like
American
a plumber.
flag. How
I
awesome is
tried to
that?
be the best one.
But that's where the demos were done. Down this row, we've got different booths. Here's the Idaho Trappers Association. Rusty Kramer, president of that. Here's Mac's Trapping Supplies. We'll stop and say hi to Mac. How are you, Mac?
Good. How are you, Alan?
Just running around,
Good.
showing everybody stuff, and
Awesome.
Max just got a really nice setup here and won an award the other night. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Very well deserved. And I hope you had a good show.
We have.
Awesome. But that's Max stuff. You can check him out online. I'm sure you won't be disappointed if you're from Idaho. He's out that way. Here's Schmidt Enterprises. We got Gerald and Doreen and the whole crew. Their display here. You can see all the different stakes they have set up, which actually is a great representation of what's available on the market. You've got Wolfangs with chain, 18-inch, 12-inch, other super stakes, Berkshires, other chain, but Gerald and Doreen, friends of mine for 20-some years. They're out of Minnesota. I don't know, will you make the Harrisonburg show in Virginia? I'm actually talking about the Harrisonburg show in Virginia, and some of these people live in like Minnesota and Idaho, and it's a long ways. So it's kind of, sometimes when you're on the east, you get a lot of eastern dealers. Sometimes you're on the west, you get a lot of western dealers like this. But did you guys have a good show?
Yeah, it's a good show, good turnout.
Yeah, I was very pleased with the turnout. I think it's been a good show for everybody, hopefully. But yeah, if you get an opportunity and you live in the Midwestern areas and you want to save some money on shipping, Gerald and Doreen will help you right out of Minnesota, anywhere in the Speedy region. I wish we had Speedy back east.
And we ship UPS everywhere else.
Yeah, Speedy is actually, anybody that doesn't know out there, Speedy is like I don't want to say bargain basement, but it's a lower priced shipping alternative that covers about 6-7 states here in the Midwest. And when I purchased Dakota Line a couple years ago, when anybody would order in that Speedy zone, we would ship Speedy. But Gerald and Doreen, it's great to see you as always, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Alan.
Moving forward, as you can see, we've got a bunch of different, I mean, it's just one thing after the other that will, how are you guys? Ohio State, we got tight chains, we've got a lot of different Montana trappers, tight chains. This is a new company that was started. It's actually really cool outerwear and clothing, and they're in the middle of a conversation, but it's nice to see you guys here. Did you guys have a good show? I believe it's your first one, correct?
Yeah, we did Pennsylvania about 3 weeks ago, and that was our first official vendor show, so this is our second. So first time at Nationals, though.
Awesome. Well, I hope
Having fun. Glad
I hope
to be
it was a
here.
great show for you guys. And like I said, there's if you're looking for some really cool attire, they've got the trapping gear, tight chains, and I believe that's the name of the company,
Yep,
correct?
Tight Chains Co.
Tight Chains Co. Look them up online. And as you move around here, we've got a bunch of different spots. This over here, Mr. Morris has got the Chernobyl glowing raccoon egg and the power of the egg. And as you can see, these kind of
Look in the box there.
glow in the dark. You can look in the box. That's a raccoon. He's probably going to turn the light out and show us how that works. You can see it glows. And what that does is attracts the raccoon from a distance. And it's great to see
Night,
here.
the wind, and rain.
That's pretty awesome. I'm happy you had a great show, and if you're interested, I'm sure you go. If you look on Facebook, I know you got a good presence on Facebook. The Chernobyl raccoon egg.
Thank you.
Move down through here. This is Mr. Dale Billingsley stuff, and I saw Dale the other day, and I stopped by and I walked by his table, and it's like literally 24 feet of bottles, and I looked at him and I said, dude, that's a lot of work right there. That is a lot of work. But Dale has got a really good product if you want to check his stuff out. He's online. We're working down through here. 360 Communications, I see. Here's some more baits and lures. Just a large selection of everybody with their wares. Mr. Jim Spencer's here, the editor of the Trapper. And how are you this morning, sir? Jimmy's a good friend of mine. If you've watched any of my stuff on YouTube or some of the videos from back in the day or some TV shows, Jimmy's let me tag along like a little dingleberry.
You know, you're the only one besides my old maid aunt that calls me Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, I'm the only one. Well, it makes me different, I guess. But pretty good show, Jim?
Yeah, so far, of course, you know, people don't come here to buy magazines and books, but
Yeah.
it flies the colors.
Well, you're absolutely right, and it's a great magazine.
It's a good organization, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Trapper is a big supporter of mine, and I definitely appreciate everything that they do. And you can see the other stuff that they do, the yearbook. They also do deer hunting, turkey hunting. 360 Communications, Mr. Brad Rux out of Wisconsin does a great job with them, and Jimmy's says he's not a writer, but it's amazing that somebody who says they're not a writer has about 5 or 6 different titles here on the table.
Yeah, so 2 books.
Yeah, well, That's 2 more than I've sold. It's always great to see you, buddy.
You too, Alex.
All right, we'll move forward. Illinois Trapper Association. I need to stop back and support them and grab my yearly subscription here in a bit. But as we move forward, this is a nice batch of fur right here. Just some really cool things. That's called a Finland coon right there. I don't know if anybody's ever seen one of them, but they're a really big, crazy looking animal, but they're cool. Marbles, he's got marbles, he's got swifts, cross foxes, gray foxes, Arctic foxes, otters, silver foxes, just a really awesome display. And this is the Fur Harvesters Auction. That's the one lifeblood that we still have since we lost NAFA and all of the different places up there. High Country Control, Tom Bodette. We've got another group down there. We walk through the middle over here. Here's more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And as we go down the line, I don't know what else I can show you that just will drive the point of. This is Peterson's. This is a nice display they have. They're out of South Dakota. They're a big supporter. They're carrying our snares. You can see I'll walk around the other side. He bought some of our Easy Set coyotes. So if you're out here and you need some Easy Set coyotes, make sure you look him up. And he's got a nice. How are you today?
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to run District 5 Trappers Association.
Okay, back in Pennsylvania. Awesome. Awesome. What's your name again?
Riddell, Mike.
Nice, nice, Mike. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing right there. You come to the show, you re-meet people. I mean, how long ago was that? 20 years, 15 years?
At least, yeah. I think it was right before you got the show on television.
Okay, that would have been 03, 04, somewhere around there.
Because I woke up one morning, it was on one of our local channels. I said, look at this. Something I never thought I'd ever see.
Well,
I think it was you and your dad trapping muskrats in a ditch.
Trapping muskrats in a ditch. Well, that's what it's all about. Making sure that we further the tradition, and here's 2 that are doing a fantastic job of that.
Okay, nice seeing you.
Down through here, this is a nice fur booth that makes some beanies and pom-poms, and we got Miss Caitlin with her new little addition to the family.
Little guy.
He looks tired. That's so awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Trapping Girls here, and they got their other family members. Just that's one really cool thing is here at the NTA show, you bring your dogs, you bring your whole family. It's a family affair, and it's just many different things across the way to see. Harris Traps, Cumberlands, Tennessee Fur Harvesters, Hoosier Trapper Supply. There's pretty much everybody's here. As you can see, Hoosier's Trapper Supply here. They have a nice setup. They do a nice job on YouTube as well. If you check their stuff out, you're gonna learn. Tennessee Fur Harvesters, the Kids Cave is over there. And this guy's selling some turkey calls and some turquoise. That reminds me of Johnny Thorpe. Johnny always used the turquoise and stuff, so really nice. And we got Junior. We're gonna end with Junior.
No one knows where I'm at.
But anyway, we finna go, man.
This is Junior.
Oh yeah, you know the
Junior, how long have you been with Duke Traps?
48 years.
48 years.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Awesome. And actually, here's the man of the show. This is Mr. John Hopple.
How you doing,
Definitely, you did a fantastic job here in putting this on. And I me doing a rinky-dink show in Pennsylvania and dealing with 50 vendors or 60 vendors in a small facility, I know how much work goes into that. The amount of work and stuff that you put into this, I just wanted to, I'm glad you're walking by as I'm closing this up. Thank you for you and your group that has done just an outstanding job, and it's been a really good show.
Well, I'm glad you said group, because we had plans, we had teams. It just came down to execution, and the folks that executed those plans with those teams pulled it all off. It was a joint effort. So
awesome. Well, thank you, and I appreciate it, and I know everybody does. And John, by the way, for all you folks out there, this is one of my biggest supporters. He's helped me procure meat. He's helped me procure glands. He's actually just given me some wild catnip that we're going to put to use and see if we can do that. But I appreciate your friendship, and you did a fantastic job here, buddy.
Glad to have you guys.
All right. But that is, in a nutshell, actually we got one more that was actually in here. We've got a whole big section that Hilltop had to themselves. Hilltop, you can see everything that they offer, but that in a nutshell is the NTA convention. It's just an awesome time, an awesome opportunity for people to do what's necessary to further this tradition. Well, that's the NTA convention. As you can see, there's a lot there. And the one thing you can't see is all of the smells that are permeating through that whole building. It doesn't matter where you're at in that building or pretty much out in the fairgrounds, you can smell the skunk and the call lures, and it sends me right back to the fur shed as a kid walking in, or walking into any of the fur buyers that we used to take our fur to, and when I used to skin and saw hides and work up there at Thomas and Hart Rafts, Charlie Thomas, who was a big trapper in Pennsylvania. Actually, back in the 70s, for you guys out there that are my age or a little older, it would be hard pressed if each little town in Pennsylvania didn't have a fur buyer. There was a fur buyer in every little town. And, you know, I grew up in Avis, but Lock Haven had a fur buyer, Bill Hall, Saladiesburg, Williamsport, the Valley. Hell, within 15 minutes, we could go to 4 different fur buyers and get prices on our fur. But it's not like that today, but we can still do our part and hopefully continue this tradition down the road. But that's the convention. As you can see, there is a lot there. It was nice to see some old friends and make some new ones. Jeff Gary out of Tennessee, who's been a big supporter, and I met at the NWTF convention. He does the Trappers R Us, so make sure you check him out on Facebook, the Trappers R Us page. He's actually really good because he shares everything from everybody's page. It's almost like a one-stop shop for all the information that's going on in the trapping industry for everybody that does social media. But it was nice catching up with him and he had a lot of time that he could share, and we chatted. It was really nice, and I got to meet Mark Larson finally, as opposed to direct message. Nice to meet him, and he does Mark Larson Outdoors on YouTube, and he's a super nice guy. So make sure you give him a like and subscribe to his page for his stuff. But you know, the whole convention is just a great time for everyone. Trapper Jay was there, Stu Miller, 330 Maniac. So a lot of you guys that watch that stuff, they were all there, and they all do their own little things on Facebook and YouTube, and everything that they do is quality. So make sure you give them a like or subscribe their page if you don't follow them, and you'll see a lot of other trapping information that you might not see on this channel. But all in all, we showed you what a got to see the different furs, the different booths. What you saw there, though, is pretty much how a convention's run. You're going to have a couple buildings, and all of the dealers are going to be in there. You're going to have a big tailgating section where the tailgating section actually gets probably more action before the convention even starts. It doesn't matter if you're a dealer or if you're a vendor or you're an attendee or you're a tailgater. Everybody's out there kind of picking and looking at all the tailgater spots when they're setting up on Tuesday, Wednesday, before the show even starts on Thursday. And then when the people come in Thursday morning, boom, they're to the tailgater section, because that's where all the old traps are. That's where all the memorabilia is. That's where all the history is. And for guys like me that like the history of trapping, that's where you can find something that means something to you. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter if it's a brand new bottle of lure or a brand new trap or whatever, it means something to you. But when you see a trap that you know was built in 1940, because that's the last year they made them, and the guy's got one on his table and it's $28 or something, it's like, that's a piece of history. I may not have a lot of money for this convention, but I'm gonna spend 28 bucks on that trap and hang out on my wall. So it's really cool how it gets the juices flowing and the fire flowing when everybody's setting up those the tailgating spots. But the whole convention was great. The demos were fantastic. I mean, there was a lot of really good information put out there by a lot of people over those 3 days. And if you want to get a good education, if you're a new beginner trapper, the NTA convention or the FTA convention or even the state conventions are a fantastic place to go, sit, watch these different ones. And it doesn't matter if this guy does coyote and then the next guy does coyote, they're going to do it completely different, but you're probably going to pick up something that helps you from each and every demo that you can put in your little arsenal, when you go out in the field. But all in all, it was a great convention. I started going to conventions in 2003. It was my first one. I believe it was, I don't know, Springfield, Illinois, or Springfield, Missouri, or somewhere out there. And, you know, I set up, I think the first time in 2004, and here we are in 2024. So
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.